to Pro NoCoders Office Hours, episode 273. I'm your host, Cameron. I'm here with Sander, Thomas, and Tanya. Before we get started, if this is your first time tuning in, we do this 6 times per week where you can bring your Bubble questions, bugs, features, requests, all things Bubble. And we try to help you out. We can't promise answers, but we do promise you won't suffer alone. We get it right most of the time. And I know, Tanya, you probably had a list of who was here first. I imagine Sander?
Thomas was here first.
Was it Thomas?
But Sander asked his question first. So let's try.
Gotcha.
It doesn't matter for me. If Thomas wants to be first, it's fine for me as well.
No, it's okay, man. You can go.
Okay. I'm not
Let's
sure.
go with
it's gonna
Sanders
be
first.
A quick question or something.
Oh, that's true. Is yours quick, Thomas?
Probably not. No. So I'm definitely down
No?
with
Okay, cool. Let's go with Sander first.
Cool,
Yes.
let's do it.
Cameron, I sent you a message 2 days ago, I guess, about that I want to print without getting the screen from the browser, so directly to a POS printer. So also not a real normal printer. And there is something on the forum that explains really well how you should do it, but it's working with JavaScript, and there I'm getting stuck because I don't understand which files I should upload and where I should do it. So that's
I was taking a look at that forum post. You know, there's a lot of information there for sure. And so if you don't mind sharing your screen, and also if you have the ability to share that forum link so we can just sort of look side by side and see what's going on.
Yes, I can share everything what I have. Let me check.
Amazing. Also, Adam, thanks for joining.
Hi.
I think this is the right screen. Yes. So this is the whole explanation of how it should be built. So here it's Brian. He has his own SaaS application. He has a saloon, or how do you call it in English? No idea. But he made his own application, and then he's explaining how he did it. So what I already did is go to this website. I import HTML code, so that's working fine.
Okay. Yeah, and I know that Brian has a whole business, I guess, you know, dedicated to this, the software and print solution. Yes. So, yeah, his information is invaluable. Absolutely. Do you mind copying that URL and sending it in the Zoom chat so I can open up on my screen?
Yes. No problem.
And then from there,
what I already did, you have also that's also what is mentioned somewhere here, the testing URL, to check if it's something on the Bubble side or more the printer or a setting on your computer or something. So that's here. Here you can just test it. I select the default printer. When I click print now here, I didn't know if you can hear it, but it's definitely printing. So I know the printer is installed correctly on my computer. So we just should get it work. And then here you can see this screen is also already coming. That's coming from the HTML. Okay. But there are no printers because the JavaScript is still empty.
Gotcha. Okay. Definitely a lot going on. I am aware that, of course, like you were saying, there are some files that need to be added into the files, right? From the JS print manager. Just going through here, let's see, there's a couple different components and scripts that I know that Brian had added. On your files and scripts in your settings there, could I take a look at that? You go to data, then file manager.
Yeah, there are none of them because I didn't know. I tried so many things and nothing got worked, so I delete them all.
Gotcha.
So we can start with a clear view of. There are a lot of files, but nothing about JavaScript. There are all images for the moment.
Gotcha. Cool. Not a problem. So I know that we do need to download the Jsprintmanager.js, right? And upload those files to the file manager at the
Yes.
very least. So that would be the first step. And what I will do, let's see.
But the thing is here, so I click on the right link, I guess. Then he said here, download and upload all the script files. So when you click on this URL, it's the link I had already. Yeah, it's this link. Then I guess I should download it here because this is for if you a client app. It's if you want to install it on your desktop. That's not what we want. We want it on a server. So when we click here, it just GitHub that open, and now you have so many different things I can do. So from here,
I do see this. Yeah.
I lost everything what I should do.
Yeah. It's a bit. It definitely is a bit. So yes, what we're going to want to do is go to the GitHub, go to the repo, and then for both components and scripts, to my knowledge, we want to download anything with a .js extension is sort of what it comes down to.
Okay, so everything just without the first one, if you can see my screen.
That's correct. Yep. Mm-hmm. And so I'm trying to do this side by side on my screen here as well.
But how you can download it? Sorry,
yeah.
I never worked with.
No worries.
Should I log in?
You and I are both going to discover today how we're going to download files from GitHub.
Yeah.
Otherwise, my solution would be to take this, well, basically just take the JavaScript file and save it in our own text editor, and then save that file as a .js. But before we do anything that complicated, I do want to see how to download these files from GitHub. So at one point, though, you had, is that correct?
Sorry?
At one point, you had downloaded these, is that correct? Or no? Because you said that you did remove a lot of different things.
Yeah, I did the same. I searched on internet how I should implement JavaScript files. So what I did is here, what you explained earlier. So copy the whole code, put it in a notebook, save that file as JavaScript, and upload that one. Okay.
Yep. So one of the ways that you can do it is
because there is no download button, so maybe just me, but
no. So click on raw. You see how it's raw. Yep, perfect. I should open up a new page, and then we're going to right click on that page, and we're going to save as, and then it should just give you the option to, yep, just like that.
That's not how I did it, but perfect. I will create a new map.
Yeah, maybe a little easier this way.
Okay, so now we have to check. Oh, should go back. Back again.
I am also seeing that we do want to have. So it looks like they have a CDN where they're calling some of this code, and we put that in the header. I'm just seeing while you're saving all those files, I'm doing a little bit of reading here.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, what is that? Look at all those symbols. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking it was not right what I was doing. So I never worked with JavaScript before, so I thought it was just my fault. I did something wrong. But when it works, I believe it's gonna be something awesome, and it works really well. But before we getting it to work, it will be difficult.
Then it looks like I'll go ahead and copy some information for you. I'm going to write this information down. I'll send it in the Zoom chat.
Wait, this is the last one. Okay, then we have 4 different files just to check if that's correct. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, the first one we don't need. Okay, and what should I do in the Zoom chat? Sorry, I was not listening.
Yeah, no worries. I'm currently copying some of that HTML information that they have inside the header. I'm just basically writing it down for you so you don't have to do it. And what we're going to do is we're going to add this to the header in the SEO meta tag section of the settings.
I had already something there, but for something else, I guess. Yeah.
CDN JS. Cool. Just making sure that I typed everything accurately. And it is looking like I did. So go ahead and check that Zoom chat right here.
There.
And and you'll take all of that there. And you'll put that in the head.
Oh. Okay, like that. And then just I should
like
replace the URL later or not?
No, so what that code right there, so when we're calling to a CDN, in this case, a CDN for JavaScript, what that is that's like an external server. So when the page loads, we're looking for that script, and it's an external, script in this case. And so we don't have to change that.
It's not a script we have to upload first to the file manager and then
that's correct. Yeah, no, we're just taking it from somewhere else and referencing it.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
Okay, cool. So we've uploaded all of the files as far as I know, right? That's what you did just now. You uploaded those files? Or are you still doing that?
Yeah, sorry. I just downloaded them.
Oh, yeah, no worries, no worries.
Them now. All right, just one by one. Okay, thank you, Bubble.
Yeah. We've taken just reading here, taken the scripts, taken the components, added those to the files, then added the CDN script into the SEO header.
Okay. Yeah, now we should have these URLs, I guess.
Yeah, so I'm not too certain here.
Maybe
don't believe we actually need to call those anywhere at the moment.
Okay, perfect.
Because what we do in the header, as we called script source Jsprintmanager Js, that's exactly what we have. And then I'm under the belief, I guess, the suspicion that JSPrintManager probably calls to all the other files as well. So it's just good to have those sort of all together there. But with that, so the one thing that we haven't done that a lot of people ran into was adding the jQuery inside the header. So we've gotten rid of that. I'm thinking now there's a chance this may work. And if it doesn't, not a problem. We'll figure it out.
Was there not something we have to do with the JavaScript here on page load?
I'm taking a look. Let's see.
Because now there is no JavaScript running, or it is in the header, so it will run from there.
Yeah, I thought it would run from the header. I think that's, are we referencing that in the HTML, right?
Yeah, let me check.
Because we should have two HTML elements, the HTML-A and then HTML-B. And from what I had seen, we do have the HTML-A element. That would be the thing we're looking at right now.
Yeah, but he still don't give me any installed printer. And then when I click print now, he's just giving me this.
I see. Okay.
Page. What is here? Yeah, here is the default test page. So when we click print here, just start printing from that little printer.
Okay, let's see.
And here you can also see the different printers we have. So I guess this drop down we should also have on the bubble part. It's from here.
So yeah, I think there was a slight oversight on my end. Let's go back to our file manager where we have the JSPrintmanager Js. And then we're going to right click on that. And we're going to copy that link address.
Okay.
And so this now, we're going to go back into our header, our SEO and we're going to go to that script source for the JS printer, and we're going to replace source Jsprintmanager.js with that link that we just copied.
Okay. So just the first link. The second link we can leave.
That's correct. Yep.
Okay. Like that.
Yep. And that should be one step closer.
Okay. And how many steps there are?
Oh, man. We'll find out. Okay, so nothing's loading yet. Go ahead and click on your first HTML element. So what we're looking at right now, if you can go to your design tab and click on that to see what we're dealing with.
From here?
Yep, perfect. Okay. Cool, cool. So that's nothing too crazy. Okay. Then we have added the script reference to the page HTML header. Okay. And
Maybe
then
here I should remove the comment.
Well, so one of the things, so you have the toolbox set up. And from what I'm seeing is that, let's see.
Yeah, we are not using it now for the moment. So that's strange because they are mentioned it a few times in the things, I guess. No?
So we're going to take this script code. I'm going to send you the link here. It's all the way at the bottom. It's the one that says script code. So it's under script references.
This one or the second one?
The second one.
The code, script code?
That's right. And so now we're going to put that inside our first HTML element. So where all the text is and the dropdown is, all that, we're going to actually put this below everything.
Here, really on the HTML itself?
That's right. Yep.
Okay.
And so that script tag, it tells the HTML that it's a script. It's not actually any kind of HTML element. And so, yeah, that's why it can be on the HTML element, even though there's regular HTML. With that, let's go ahead and test it out. Let's see if we can get some luck out of this.
Not yet. There is no pop-up anymore, so that's already... There's no pop-up anymore when we click it, so, or we broke it. Wait.
Probably a little bit of both.
Oh, wait, here's a... I will drop to here. The site is trying to connect. Yeah, I will allow it. Oh, hey.
Oh, we like this. This is good.
Many pop-ups. Okay, that's working.
Amazing.
It just don't print text. It was just a white.
So are we passing in anything to print? Are we saying, hey,
in
print?
the HTML, there should be some text like this, like cookies, milk, subtotal.
Let's see what well, let me see what the script is saying here. So we're telling it.
But yeah, that's just strange.
Yeah, so inside the script, that is what we would be printing. It looks like the cookies, milk, subtotal, like you said. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I just should try it again because
Let's try that out.
But not the text, just a white paper.
Okay. What I would select is, yeah, so make sure you don't check mark that. Just select the item.
Don't do this?
Yeah, don't print the default. We wanted to just print to the one we're selecting and seeing if that changes anything.
But now I don't understand why.
So is it still just blank?
I just read it. No, he's just pushing this each time. It was not on the other website, but here, and I was just reading this dialog is not displaying in licensed mode. So it just when you are testing it, this software is free. When you are by license, you have to pay for it, but then it will not appear. It will not show up anymore. I hope, I guess.
I'd imagine so. Yeah, I'd imagine so. Not super knowledgeable on that, but that makes sense.
Now there's text. So I think it worked.
Well,
That's quick. I thought it's gonna take so much more time.
it definitely took you a little bit of time. I'm not knowing the JavaScript for sure. It's going to take a lot of time. Fortunately, you got me here. I know a little bit, and it got us through this. So the next thing that you're just going to need to do really is where it has those lines where you're reading characters to print. That's going to be dynamic for you. And so it's just a matter of making sure that you can dynamically include the information that you then wanted to print, while also making sure that you're including where it says CMDS plus equal new line. You're keeping that to create a new line every single time. Otherwise, if the printer works, we did it.
Yeah, it's awesome. I just have to check how do I write down everything on the tickets. But that's something I can figure out myself. Did you find any information, or do you know a place where I can find information how I should create these things, or just trial and error?
It's going to be a bit of trial and error for sure. However, what I would say is that you can use dynamic text. So let's say someone places an order, right? And they place an entree and a drink, and let's say 2 entrees and a drink, right? So what you could do inside your record that you create, you could actually save this, and then we'll call this dynamic text, or you'll call the values, and you could say this item's each item, and it should print, 3 items now, 2 entrees and a drink.
Yeah.
What I would say though is in between spaces, you may have to use a find and replace function as well, where we find all the spaces and then include CMDS plus equals new line print or semicolon. So it's going to be a bit of trial and error for sure, but it's not that different from just regular bubble concepts where we're taking in dynamic data and then printing it out on, this here.
Text, maybe I you understand a bit wrong, or it was a nice explanation, but I mean it's more like how you can wait. Let me think about what I should say. It's already late, so I have to think about what I said.
No worries, I totally get it.
How should I do how do I look nice? Like some text is in bold, or text is
how do you stylize it?
Yeah, that's what the word I was looking for it, because I see here they say this should be in 18, but these are all, it's not normal HTML coded or something.
No.
So do you have any idea where I can find some information how you can style these, or is it just something I have to search on myself? What's fine. If you don't know it, it's fine. I will search.
I will be fully transparent. I don't know it, but let's see. We're writing \x00 and \x38. That is hex, I think. It's a byte value. Yeah. So they're writing in byte values. So
Like this?
Yeah, exactly. Now that's a Java tutorial, so it's a little different. Let me see. Let's say
maybe this will work. Let's take it in the no-codes.
I mean, it may, converting a string to bytes. I am wondering, because what that system's doing is it's taking a look at the very raw data that we're sending in, which would be bytes, and then it's able to stylize it, right? Let's see. I'm taking a look on my screen here too, trying to see if I can find anything.
Now he's just giving me numbers. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. which obviously to you and I makes no sense, but to a computer, that's how it reads everything.
Okay.
Trying to see if I can figure out.
Yeah, if you want to
We're gonna have to
first
move on to Thomas.
help, yeah, that's fine as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be definitely a bit of some trial and error, but don't hesitate to join in office hours where we can spend a little bit more time on it, or schedule a meeting with me, and we can spend some one-on-one time figuring this out together. But glad that we got this taken care of for you.
Yes, thank you very
Yeah,
much.
that's awesome.
Sorry for waiting.
Adam,
Yeah.
Adam, I sent you a couple messages if you're reading your messages, because Thomas has sort of a lengthy question as well. We could always do a breakout room if you think I can answer your question. So.
I think so. Cameron's pretty good at this regex stuff, and it's particularly.
Oh yeah, if it's regex, you probably need to wait for Cameron.
Okay, that's fine, and it's pretty quick. It's an easier one.
Okay, cool.
Thank you
We're
very
here to
much.
party today. Yeah, cheers. Have a good one, man. All right. Sir Thomas, how can I help you today?
So I actually was wondering if you've worked with the Twitter API before, outside of the plugin.
I have, very briefly, I have, yes. We created a private app. It was just for API testing, truly, sort of actually, just to get familiar with APIs I have in the past. Yes. How can I help you out?
So I was actually just wondering how to set that up and where exactly I'm adding things up. I'm just a bit concerned about setting things up in a really insecure way. So.
Yeah, no, that's totally understandable.
Yeah, I haven't managed to jump too deeply into it, but I was wondering if you could perhaps like show me step by step if there's enough time, or at least kind of the basics.
Here, let's do Twitter developer. So we go to developer.twitter.com. And I'm going to be completely honest. Let's see, how do we, developer portal, here it is, okay. You can see in the past, set something up, but to get started, we would go to developer.twitter.com and we would create I believe it's a public app. Let me go ahead and where's the button that says make a new project? Well, let's start here. Let's see. One environment per project, okay. And that's what it's saying, it says I have one. I want to delete this. I want to restart. Incidentally, this was for Adam, actually. I had set this up for Adam on Pathfix.
That is true.
Yeah. Trying, where would I help me out? Oh.
I remember because I set up a project too, it's like the first step.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have that option here. Didn't it just say that you only get one project per plan, free plan access? I think I may have overlooked that.
Yeah, well, it said that I have one on this environment, which realistically, that's exactly what it entails. I do want to get rid of this, though. I want to delete it. I'm not seeing anywhere to do that. I don't like that.
Oh, so you set this up with Pathfix. You didn't do it with the API connector?
No, we can absolutely do it with the API connector. I've had multiple Twitter accounts to get it going. So on this one in particular, this is Pathfix. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do this here. Can you guys see my private window by any chance?
I cannot.
Okay, give me 1 second because I am setting up a pro NoCoders Twitter.
Cool.
My birthday, bing bong. Oh.
We can see your birthday. That's hilarious. We can't see your window, but we can see your drop downs.
No way, man.
That was funny.
Okay, yes, we'll skip. Okay, we'll follow the who. And then, cool, we will sign out of this guy. Yes, log out. Okay, cool. So developer Cool. Yes. And then we got to sign up. So every account that you create, you do have to sign up. And we have to add a phone number. They're collecting all this data on me right now. Oh, password. Oh my goodness. They don't trust it's me.
Oh, damn. It's because you're on Brave browser, is that why? No. Might be mistaken.
No, they just don't like me. But that's my password. No, no. What if I do this? No. Oh, goodness gracious.
Is this for NoCoders?
Yeah, this is
Twitter
for the,
has test issues.
how do we, let's go here. Or it'd be more, I believe, than it would be settings and privacy, your account, change my password, current password. I don't think this is going to work, but. Oops. Is my cap lock on? Oh, I just created this account. That's the password. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing for a brief moment. Not that I have anything to hide. But I'll be
Except
right
your
back.
passwords?
Except everything.
What? Yes, please. I do not want to have to edit this episode. Usually I just delete them, but that work you just did with Sander was super cool.
All that
Was
fun
that-
stuff, yeah.
I kind of like missed it a little bit. Was that being able to print right off a bubble?
Yeah, but without like, because you can print things from Bubble, but you usually get the pop-up saying, how do you like it? How does it look? He wanted to be able to print, just like click a button and it automatically starts printing. His use case is like in a restaurant when you're like printing tickets and stuff for what people ordered.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it was very cool. Well done, Cameron.
Do what I can.
We
All
are
right.
super impressed.
I
And
am
another
almost
great
there.
thing. Another great thing is you can also print to remote printers, so you don't have to connect them to a computer. So it's really easy to print it from your cell phone or from a tablet, or what's really easy for in a
That's
restaurant.
That's
That is
incredible.
actually really cool, yeah.
It's great.
All right, we are about to share the screen again. Bam. Okay, what else do I have to do? It should be all right. Oh, some experience. I will be showcasing how to use the Twitter API. But it's 200 characters. Oh my goodness. And help me. Let's just give them random things. Yes.
Just the same.
Stinks.
If you just copy paste it, you have the same.
Nice.
Okay, cool. Are you planning to, I am, okay, we should, what if I say like no, and then should I, did this change my scopes, do you think? Probably. I hope not. I really hope not. Yes, we've been approved. Okay. First, you need to name your app. And so this is probably where you've gotten to, right? I'd imagine you went through everything and, or maybe not, but.
Yeah, I created the app and then I was just browsing through the endpoints. Some endpoints is all. I didn't get too far.
Cool. So these keys aren't super important. We don't have to scrub anything. But here we go. So these are important, obviously, for using an API, right? We have our API keys, our API key secret, and then our bearer token. And the API key is typically used for basic access. The API key secret is used to, verify that, of course, this is who you are, this is the application. And then bearer tokens typically used for authorization for more sensitive information. Let's see, we did save them, yes. And so this is where you've gotten like giving the endpoints a try.
No, I was just browsing through the documentation as well.
Okay, cool. So you were looking for best way or like the most secure way.
Setting it up through the API connector in a very secure way. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Got you there. Security is super important. We are given a curl. Actually, this is super awesome because the API connector, if we go to our API connector here, and we'll create a new one, we'll call this Twitter. And we'll call this get tweet, because I believe this is a get tweet. Just setting up my Twitter. Yep, so we're getting a tweet, we're getting the text. We will actually, oops, you know what? I got too ahead of myself. We're gonna delete this. And we're gonna import another call from curl. We're just gonna copy this entire thing here. And we're gonna click paste. And so now we're gonna take that bearer token, which I believe this is my bearer token here. And just like that, we've gone ahead and successfully been able to pull a tweet with an ID. Now, of course, you're gonna wanna make sure that you have a particular ID. This would be the ID that we've selected. I'm certain if we were to type in random numbers, we'd probably get a tweet. And we do, except we're not authorized to see this tweet, which honestly, in the grand scheme of things, is probably because it either exists or it's a private account or something of the sort. But this is where I would start, where we actually go ahead and take curl. I've been using it actually on several different client projects where the documentation includes curls. Super awesome. We're just able to copy this and throw it in the API connector like I had shown you. Now, so much bouncing back and forth. All right. So here is the project. We have our app ID. And then if we are going to be having a user sign up or sign in, so like a social login of sorts, right? We would be able to use the OAuth 2.0. At the very moment, we're not really doing anything with OAuth 2.0. We could set up, of course, a user signing in and trading an access token and getting everything that they need to. But I know that you were taking a look at the docs now. Let's see.
Yeah, we could keep it basic for now. You don't have to. I know Adam's probably waiting anyways.
So basic authentication. This is truly a very just simple way of doing it. This is secure. I want you to keep in mind that authentication, especially the basic HTTP, has been in use since like 1996. It was developed by like CERN way back when. So it's been used. It's widely used, and as such, it's braved the tests of the internet for quite some time. But we can take, again, because it gives us this curl here, we could just take this curl and we can just whoop, right there. Now, this is the first step because we do need to do the basic auth. And to keep it simple, what we would do is we would enter the email address and the password. For the sake of using the password that I have for every single account that I set up as well for this one, I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry. I could change it real quick if you're all right with that. Do it again. We can put it on a brief pause and I can change my password to show you. But otherwise, you enter your email address and you would enter your password where it says basic auth. And then you would call this, and this is just going to get you the, what does it get you actually? I believe this gets you does this get you the tweets from the last 30 days, I think, where this is the query, something of that sort. Now, here's the thing. I could go everywhere with this. What particular question do you have? What can I really focus on for you?
So my goal is to visualize the Twitter analytics, like the 5 different things I have to. Let me pull up my screen really quickly.
Okay.
Exact things, the endpoints. I want to visualize the Twitter analytics page because they give you a very small little visual elements or 5 little visual elements. And I just feel personally it's insufficient for myself. So
Gotcha.
I was wondering to capture on a month-by-month basis amount of tweets, amount of impressions, and profile visits.
Okay,
Amount of-
gotcha.
Yeah, amount of mentions and then amount of followers. I know that's a few of them, but I think we could just stick to one, and I should get the point.
So let's see. I do want to look and see where you can find the analytics. That would be.
I think it might be its own API, if I'm not mistaken.
Is that right? Okay,
Yeah.
let's see.
API, I think, was what I saw. I might be mistaken.
Talk.
I might be mistaken for sure.
Oh no,
There's some-
that's what we got Google though.
Yep.
API reference guide. So let's see. The asynchronous analytics. Twitter. Oh, so it's a Twitter ad. So this is going to be slightly different than what we're looking for, more than likely. This is probably analytics for the particular ad.
Right.
Seeing as we have a job ID, that makes sense. So we'd want to go back to our Twitter API. If I had to guess, it would be either standard or V2. Metrics. I think this is what we're looking for. So public and private engagement metrics for tweets. And so we will need to do an OAuth 2.0 bearer token.
Got it.
Not a problem. It's honestly one of those things where it's not super crazy. But I don't want to say that and then it'd be the craziest thing in the world. So let's take this here. Let's throw it here. We're actually going to get rid of these. Do none are self-handled, and we'll call this, oops, actually. Oh, let's test this out with the bearer token that we have. So very similar to what we had. Oh no, I just deleted them. Oh boy. No, don't tell me. Okay. I don't think it's gone forever. Is this it? I thought that was a. Okay, I think this is our bearer token. So I use Notepad a lot, and Notepad has a you can only do one Control-Z before you can't do any others. So I accidentally made a mistake. Oh man,
That's it, Cameron. That was your last chance.
No, we can
No
regenerate.
mistakes allowed.
We'll take the API key. We'll take the secret. And I don't learn from my mistake. I off my screen. I'm putting it right back in Notepad. All right. Okay, let's restart. Take this, put it in our curl. Bam, it automatically adds this. We like that. We're gonna take our bearer token.
I hate to cut you off, man, but it's just like you're flying through this, and it's just.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Screen is moving slower than you're moving.
Oh no, I know. Okay, I'm so sorry. Let me go ahead and just sort of recap what I did here. So we're referencing this here. This is just a sample call, right? And it has a curl at the very beginning. And when we're presented with curl, what we can do inside Bubble is we can go down here where it says import another call from curl. And so I've copied and pasted. Oh, I have my bearer token there. Actually, I pasted my bearer token. But if we go back here and we were to copy all of this and put it inside curl, what it's going to do, and I typically just keep it as is, and then I press import. And so it creates us a new curl call, and it even says that right here. For us, this is OAuth 2.0. Now, we do have that bearer token that we just regenerated here. I've pasted it on my notepad. I've copied it from my notepad. Now I'm going to replace the bearer token that's here currently. When we initialize it, it says that we did something wrong. Okay, let's see. The ID query parameter cannot be empty. Well, wait a second. We're going to take this, and sometimes it's a little weird. I'm going to be honest. Sometimes it is a little bit weird. But what we've done is we've taken the actual call, the URL that we want to actually pull data from, which would be here, api.twitter.com. And then what we're saying is we want to get, it looks like 2 IDs, 2 tweets, so 2 IDs, and these would be the IDs here. Then we should be able to initialize it. And there we go. So this looks like it was updated in 2020, but we do get 2 tweets from this call itself. Now, this is just the start, though. This is the OAuth 2.0. So we're passing in our bearer token, and this bearer token is going to be necessary for any of the metrics that we are looking for. So let's take a look. So the API representations, data, non-public metrics, impressions, count. Okay. Looks like a lot of, let's see, how do they do it? So this is, so what you can see here in the sample request is that they're calling to their API endpoint, api.twitter.com, and then they're finding the tweet ID. And then what they're also doing is they're finding the tweet.fields, which I think is somewhere, well, public metrics right here, right above, actually. I am under the impression that it would be the same kind of approach where instead of tweet.fields, if you wanted to find whether or not, the metrics of the promoted media on this particular tweet, you would replace this with tweet.fields, or replace tweet.fields with this. So let's take this sample request. Again, we're just going to import this curl call. And again, it did get rid of the actual URL that we're looking for. So sometimes it works flawlessly. I will say that. Sometimes it works absolutely flawlessly. With curl, the URL is going to be denoted by these parentheses, or not parentheses, I'm sorry, but apostrophes. And then we're told what the header should include. So what we already have done where we have authorization, bearer, and then the bearer token. So I will replace this with this, the actual URL, with all of the fun stuff that we're looking for. So the tweet fields and media, or the attachments and so on. You'll see where this is important, because when you're starting out with APIs, you'll see where it says authorization and then it has a colon. We can completely disregard this colon. The colon is added automatically by Bubble. So we just need to include authorization here. Don't really care about the colon. But we do care about, of course, that bearer token. We're going to go ahead and initialize this call. And then we can see we're getting a lot now, a lot back, more than what we had originally with public metrics. So this does help to some degree, and we can look here. Is it easier to read it on here? So tweet fields, and then we're saying that we're looking for these public metrics as specified by the public metrics endpoint that we're calling. So if we were to get rid of expansions, attachments, media keys, and media fields, we would then just get public metrics. We probably wouldn't get any of this. In fact, it wouldn't be a probably, we wouldn't get includes media. We're telling it here in this URL that that's what we're looking for. And so we can actually show you here, if we just reinitialize this call, now we're just getting the public metrics and we're not actually calling any of that attachment information. And so this is hopefully nudging you in the right direction to show you sort of like what you're to, I guess, be expected to pass into these URLs. Twitter does have it at least, pretty readable, I would say. So like if we're adding non-public metric, let's do this. This should be interesting. So we'll actually take this. We'll take the entire call here. So what exactly are we doing with this here? We're looking for non-public metrics and organic metrics. We're also going to be looking at media fields as well. And we're looking at like the media attachments. We're looking at those metrics as well. And so it should send us this information. What I will say before we proceed, this may not work because this looks like it was this auth 1.0.
Yeah,
We
might have to do elevated access or whatever they call it.
So we do have an API key. The nonce is typically a random generated string on a redirect page typically. So this may require us to sign in. Let's see. And then the access token. We'll try it out. We'll try it out to see if it works with OAuth 2.0. Yeah, and it's saying we don't have access to this. So if I had to guess, we would need to actually sign in and pass in this information.
When you say sign in, what do you mean exactly?
Yeah, good question. So you know how you sign into a website with your Google account or with your Facebook account? It would be the same thing where we sign in now with a Twitter account. And when we sign in with a Twitter account, what we're given is an access token. And so when we look at what it's saying here, like the OAuth token, we would be passing in whatever information that we'd be given when we actually sign in. And this would go right here. And then, like I had said, we are oftentimes given a nonce, and an OAuth nonce in a lot of different situations is a random string that you decide. It's used to verify. It's sort of like if this string matches when we send them to a redirect page, and then it also matches when they're making an API call, we know that's the person. You can't typically fabricate this information. It needs to be matching for these API calls to work. Now, it's going to take a little bit of time to actually set up and go through. However, what I will show you is that this would be the response that you would get. And this is probably what you're really looking for, where you're going to get the impressions count, you're going to get the likes count, reply count, and you're going to get all of the metrics that, well, are, at least what I would say important, especially if you're looking for analytics. And it looks like I'm not super certain, but if I had to guess, since this is a typed video, we're looking at a video, playback 100 could mean how many times somebody watched it all the way through, or a quarter of the way through, or 50% of the way through, so on and so forth. So if you need help with this, I'd love to set up a meeting with you. We could actually do a one-on-one, start from scratch, go all the way from signing up, and then get all these going. But I know that we're running out of time, and I also want to help Adam out real quick. But hopefully, yeah, definitely.
I'll mess around with what you give me here.
Sweet. Yeah, hopefully this helps out, including using the import another call from curl. I think this is amazing. When I discovered that you could do that with APIs, they become so much more simple, or they became so much more simple. So I know there's a lot. It definitely, we just sort of graced the tip of the iceberg, but it's a journey. Just again, if you ever need help, just let me know.
We'll be going over all of this extensively in No Code School too, Thomas. So
Sweet.
I don't know if you're learning it for a current client. But
Hey, welcome.
hi, Juan.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
We have Adam needs to ask his question, and then you can ask yours. But yours is for after hours, I understand. So.
Hi.
Right.
Okay, so I'm just gonna try to share my screen and try to hide as many things as possible off it. It's like Thomas is like, I have nothing to hide, and like I also don't have things to hide, but at the same time, you just don't want to put your screen on blast like that.
Thank you.
Okay. So basically, this is like a very, very, very simple regex pattern, and I think it will maybe take a couple of minutes. Basically, what I'm trying to do is I'm attempting to make it so that whenever I type in a Spotify link, it will extract the ID needed. So essentially, this is just like an example of the different types of embeds that happen. And the reason I did this was so I could really map out, like, do all of them basically look the same except which part? And the part that I need extracted from a URL is this. So essentially, what I need extracted from a URL is this. And that makes it pretty easy because basically what I need to do is just get rid of all of this at the beginning of any URL that someone does copy URL and paste in. So I've set that up already where it's essentially, you know, the iframe spotify.com/embed, input Spotify's value, extract with regex. And what I'm trying to do is basically clip off this part. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So
I'd actually truncate, right? Instead of regex?
you may be
just
able
find
to.
and replace.
So
You
the
can-
real question that I have for you, though, is that when somebody pastes a link here, so you've given us different like iframe sources and so on and so forth. We're only focusing on a URL, like a shared URL. So if somebody's on Spotify and they share a link, this is what it looks like, right? open.spotify.com/episode/string.
Yes, this is what the embed is. This is what the URL is. And I'm just trying to keep it easy on users. It basically takes out a step for them so they don't have to click embed. Like a lot of typical people who don't really do tech get afraid of embed. Like they like don't know how to really do it that much. Or like if like when
Sure.
it's a lot easier for people to just copy a link. So I want to keep it easy on people and not freak them out.
Okay, cool. So we're taking everything after .com, correct? And then before question mark. Is that right?
No, we're taking everything from basically we're taking everything after .com because yeah, that's it.
Okie dokie. So we're trying to find regex between two, not characters, but two strings, I guess.
Not two. I think it's from like so truncate would work, Tanya, but I do think that there is a open.spotify.com. Like I'm not sure if they have that. Like m dot can kind of get in the way sometimes because then you don't know whether it's going to be an extra 2 characters or not. So I just kind of want to like round it out and make sure that everything after this .com/ is
For sure.
Okay. Let me see. Trying to think of the best way to do it because I've had experiences before, quite recently, in fact, where the regex that I would normally use hasn't been working, which is strange, right? You would assume that if you used it in one project, it would work in the other projects. But here, let me pull open some regex that I've used in the past, and let me see if any of those will help us.
Okay. Basically, it's like replaced with nothing, right?
So what we'd be doing is we'd actually be selecting, so the regex would be selecting characters between certain other characters.
Well, I just want to make it clear again, it's not between 2 characters, it's from this point to the end.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Yeah. Also, while Cameron's doing that, Tanya, I'm curious, can you explain what an iframe is? Because I feel like I know what it is and I've used it, but I just want to like double down on the definition and like the difference between what an iframe would be in a regular HTML embed.
So an iframe is like a window that shows another website.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can place an iframe on a page, and it will go and it will retrieve the information from another website address, as long as that website address is allowing for iframing, and it will render it on your page.
Okay, cool.
I'm about to include that. So that's the regex. What's going to be doing is it's getting the slash, then episode, then everything else till the very end. So that should work.
Or maybe this one. I did a test with this.
Okay.
Yeah, from .com all the way to the end there. I see what you're doing. Okay.
All right, sure.
I mean,
So-
yeah, either of them really should work.
I'll try.
Yeah.
I'll try Cameron's first, and then we'll go from there. And I'll just paste in a random link. I have this link is actually to a Julia Fox podcast because you know what? We gotta respect. We gotta respect. This is my test page. There's just a lot of random stuff up there, but there we go. Okay, so that didn't work. Let me try the second one. There we go.
For that one, that's interesting.
Hey, Cameron, I think
Yeah.
no, it is removing also. I mean, it is extracting. I mean, if you have another slash, it will remove them too. So I think it will not work with that.
Oh, you know what? That's right. In my example that I had put. Yep.
Can you change it, please?
I
I did
think
a
yours-
quick test here, so we can test in a simpler way if you want to come here and do like a quick test here.
Oh,
In the first input, you can test the URL, and in the second input, the regex parameter, so we can play with it.
okay. That's strange. So now this second time, something showed up the last time, but this time nothing's showing up even. So let me maybe just try another thing. So let's just try this. Copy episode link. Paste. Yeah, so now nothing's showing up. And all my conditions are set the same. I even actually just included displays iframe, and I have it visible on page load. So the second one is also not working.
Or
And in
Running-
another pages, it worked or somewhere else?
This
You
is
have
my
to-
first time. This is my first time asking how to do this right. So
Okay.
I'm trying to include a like a quantifier looking at like the third / that ain't working. Let's see.
Was there a reason we're not doing this with just regular find and replace?
Yeah.
Other than the N one,
Multiples ones.
other
like-
than the difference between like two different types of links?
yeah,
But even with
Um,
that, it was work. I mean, it should be the same because it is retrieving the last part of the after the .com.
Right, like we could say if it's this or this, we could replace it, right?
so as far as the find and replace, I'm assuming, Tanya, what you'd be suggesting is just find this and replace it with nothing, correct?
Right.
Okay.
But
I mean, that's a
Sorry.
big brain.
have you tested without the regex? I mean, pasting like the regular piece of code for the iframe without extracting nothing and like the value that you copy and paste from Spotify and it is working.
Yep. I will grab it right now.
Maybe you can do it in a condition maybe to don't crash this one. Okay.
I don't know why I do a condition in this case scenario, but I'm just going to show you what it does display.
No worries. I'm okay.
So it works.
Trying to think of the best way to approach this. Let's see, because we're looking at 1, 2, third slash.
Maybe I know what is. Are you leaving the embed spotify.com/embed and then the rest of the condition. Can you go back? Do you see that some of them have like spotify.com/embed and then the episode? You are replacing or extracting regex after embed or after
Yes,
.com?
after embed. After embed. So I can go back and
there?
show you what it was. Yeah, so if you see, I left it in embed.
Okay, but the regex, I think, is replacing the. Give me a second.
So this is
Well, so there's no embed in the regular link.
Okay, in the regular one is no embed.
okay, Adam. So this is what I'm going to recommend. This regex right here is going to it's not going to get you what you want exactly, right? This is going to get you all the way up until after or before .com. So this is going to get you HTTPS, then open.spotify.com. What I would recommend is doing a find and replace, just like Tanya had said, where we're finding and replacing this regex with nothing. So then the only bit of information that's going to be passed in is the /episode / then the string.
Can you walk me through how I would do that? Can you please talk me through the find and replace situation right now?
Yeah, sure. So what you're just going to need to do instead of extract with regex is just find and replace. So we got to replace that at the very least.
So here, I got to do find and replace?
No. So where it's currently extract with regex, let's get rid of that one.
Okay.
No, like the actual blue text. Yeah. Oh, you know what you're doing. Yeah. So let's take that value and then click more. Perfect. So you use that regex pattern. Perfect. And that's all you got to do.
Okay, let's see. All right. Oh,
Yay.
it worked. Great.
Woo, we did it.
Cameron is on fire tonight.
Cool. Let's
Do what I can.
Let's just make sure it's not just Julia Fox. Let's go into news.
Yeah. I wonder what those links look like. Are they slightly different?
They are all slightly different. So
this should still work the way that we want it to.
Yeah.
Do me a favor. Can we inspect that frame right there and see what's
That
actually passing in?
URL? That's so weird.
Yeah, click on that and then.
Weird. I am clicking on it and it's not.
Oh, what?
Here, I'll do stop, inspect. Oh boy. Okay, let me reload, I guess. It's the same thing. God, no, it's not even letting me click it.
Can you go back to your text real quick? Can you take both of those links and send them to me in the Zoom chat?
Sure.
I'm going to test with the thingamabob that I have just to see what's going on.
So that's the one that did not work. And then I will give you one that did work.
Well, it's in your notes, right?
Oh, yeah, it is. You're right.
They're both the same, especially if we're just taking the before the .com. Okay, testing, and then also testing. Yeah, so that does the exact, it's the same output. And let me share my screen with you so I can show you, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So I love this website. This is the best website to have ever existed, as far as I'm concerned. So this is the track, right? And so what we're doing is we're passing in this information. So we're getting rid of this, and then we're only passing in this information. And then similarly with the episode. So we're comparing both episode and track, but you can see that we're removing the exact same thing. So at this point, I am wondering if you were to take in just this information for the track, just this information, and put that in your application, would we still be getting that unknown error or that error that we're getting? Because I don't know if it's the regex. It could just be the plugin, perhaps, but I'm also not super 100% sure.
You know, it's actually not a plugin. It's just the HTML input in Bubble. But
Okay.
I don't know if they let Spotify creators do the same thing that they let YouTube creators do. I have the ability as a YouTube creator to not permit embeds, like iframes and stuff.
Okay, I could try another track and see if that's. I mean, that was Jack Harlow, who's like a massive artist. I don't think that Atlantic Records would care, or they'd want as many spins as they could get, I think. But let me try just another track. Yeah, any other track doesn't work actually.
It's weird that it worked for one.
It worked for the episode. Yeah,
because we're taking that. If we do,
try an album too.
no, we don't want to do that. We just want to get rid of this.
Yeah, and I've also just tried an artist, and that is not working.
That is really interesting. Honestly, it really is, being that it works for the episode, but it doesn't work for. And it stinks a little bit more because what I want to see on your screen is what we're actually passing in. And you do have the option, I guess, of setting up like a text field and putting up the regex and doing that from that manner. Do you mind sharing your screen again for just a couple moments so I can take a look?
Sure. Yeah. Desktop. Okay.
Okay, and so this is spotify.com/embed, and then maybe remove the embed, then the slash after the embed.
Okay. That probably is it then. Let's see. That'd be really funny. This is Coiler Ray. Sorry, this I don't mean to have this be like some crazy live. Okay, but this is top tracks for the. I mean, maybe this is how artists populate. That could make sense. Okay, so
yeah, it's probably how the artist populates.
All right, let me just see. Go to home. This is an album. So copy album link. Let's do. Okay.
Cool.
It's working.
Yeah.
Great. Cool.
We've done
It
it.
looks nice.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
I like it.
This wise.
Very pro, Cameron.
Sweet. I'm very glad that I was able to help you with that too. Amazing.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Rock on.
Let's move into after hours.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. All right, everybody watching at home, thanks so much. And everybody that's here as well, thanks so much for tuning in and letting us solve your problems. If you have a project that you don't want to show on camera because it's sensitive or anything of the sort, we do that in after office hours where you turn off the cameras and we help you privately. You can join us for after office hours if you are on the developer membership at Pro NoCoders. So with that said, everybody, thanks again, and you all rock on.